usually after a 5-day window, what we should typically see is either one, we've effectively removed all the things that we need to remove for your kiddo and we've reached baseline. And it is absolutely possible to reach baseline within 5 days, especially if your baby's symptoms are fairly mild. And so in those particular cases, after a 5-day window, like, yay, amazing, fabulous, that's incredible, we're excited, right? Like that's fabulous that you did it. That's incredible. You reached baseline. At that stage, we build a full reintroduction strategy. Like, okay, we eliminated dairy, soy, egg, and rice, your specific like set of foods, but it's not likely that all of those foods are triggers. So we're going to bring each of those foods back and we're going to build you a full reintroduction strategy and action plan that's like this food for this amount of time, this amount of food, this many days, and this is how we're going to tell if it's a pass, and this is how we're going to tell if it's a fail, and this is what we're going to do if it's a pass, and this is what we're going to do if it's a fail, and then pushing forward into the next food. And we bring each of these foods back to say, like, do I have to remove all soy, or can I go out and eat at a restaurant and not be worried about soy oil and soy lecithin, for example. So we get to the point of like, oh, this is very specifically what my baby is reactive to. My baby is reactive to dairy and soy, but not hidden soy, so that's great. And also rice. I can bring back any of the other foods that I've eliminated back in my diet long-term. Wonderful. So that's one thing that happens. The second thing that happens is after your targeted elimination diet for like a 5-day window, we see significant improvement, but we don't quite get to baseline. And so this is often the case for kiddos who have more severe symptoms. So if you've ever seen any of the pictures from my journey, where especially my oldest, by the time I reached an effective elimination diet, all that was coming out of her little body was blood. She had very like massively bloody diapers. It wasn't specks, it was blood. Her skin was so bad that it was like weeping and infected. And so it was really, really, really hard. And even in those scenarios, I was still being told like, oh, you're just doing what you're doing. Good luck with that, which is crazy. And so in my case, when I eliminated something for a 5-day window, if I eliminated the right things at the same time, I likely would see like less blood and stool. I would see that the skin is healing, but I'm not in a 5-day window going to get to baseline. And so oftentimes we talk about that. We talk about like healing timeline and how healing timeline is different from transfer timeline, right? Like you transfer quickly and you clear quickly the foods that you're consuming in your diet, but then we have to rely on baby and follow baby's lead as it relates to like how long it's going to take for them to heal. So in my baby's case with June, even though she was no longer being exposed to things that were triggering her anymore, 5 days in, a week in, 2 weeks in, we still had some blood and stool, a little bit of blood and stool, but we were steadily improving day over day. So once you've effectively eliminated the right things at the same time, you should see an improvement typically within a 48-hour window, because that's the peak timing for reactivity, and then steady day-to-day impact. So you should see that it continues to improve if you've continued to eliminate the right foods at the same time.